Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. Today I would like to make a very simple video, but that I believe has a strong message, and that is why, in my opinion, gravel bikes are going to be dominating the bike market in the years to come, and why they might be a worthy choice for you to get one, and how they have impacted my cycling and made it so much more fun and productive. So they managed to increase both the fun factor and the training effect, getting fitter while having fun. In this video I'm going to be talking about gravel bikes, but what kind of gravel bikes? So the gravel bikes I'm talking about are the ones that are more geared towards racing, so racing gravel bikes. This can be bikes like the Ventum GS1, Cervelo Aspero. There's quite a few different models out there that are very light bikes. They're basically road bikes, but they can take in tires up to 44 or 45C. That's what I would define them as. I would define these gravel bikes as road bikes on steroids. These bikes are basically exactly like a road bike, but they're capable of so much more. So I've put down some things why I would like to share this video, and the main reason is that I believe a racing gravel bike can make us fall in love even more with cycling, both for the exploration aspect, so finding new places, doing new roads, seeing new things, but also and especially for the people who are into health and performance. They can really help to make training effective and also fun. So the first and the most important reason why gravel bikes, in my opinion, are going to be dominating the bike market in the next years is because of the versatility. These bikes can take in tires up to 45C, which means that they open up so many more roads to our riding. What happened to me was I was on a road bike and a tri bike for 3 years of consistent training. I loved it. I absolutely loved riding both my road bike and my tri bike. But I would always ride past these like unpaved roads, and I would be like, man, it would be sick to go down the road. I wonder what it takes. And with gravel bikes, you can go and see where that road leads. It opens up so many more options for riding. Some people might say, well, if you want to go off-road, why don't you just get a mountain bike? That is a fair point, but I believe that gravel bikes are superior, and especially racing gravel bikes are superior because you can absolutely fly on the road with a racing gravel bike, which is something that you literally can't do with a mountain bike. If you have even just a front suspension mountain bike, your experience on the road is going to be so different compared to what is effectively a road bike with larger tires. So that's why, in my experience, gravel bikes are so powerful, because you can get out of the house, literally ride on the road to the trail, and then ride the trail, which is something that with mountain bikes, it might be difficult because the trail might be far away. So you might have to ride, 20 kilometers to reach this trail. And that is going to put like a dent in me actually doing it, because I don't want to ride 20 kilometers uncomfortable on the road to reach the trail, which I can then ride on with my mountain bike. And with a gravel bike, I can mix the two things together. So I can ride great on the road and on trails. Of course, we're not talking about super technical trails, not like super mountain bike stuff. But there are a lot of roads in between that, in my experience, can be really enjoyable to ride with a gravel bike. That is the main reason why I would say a gravel bike can be superior to a mountain bike in regards to versatility, so combining both road and off-road. A second reason why I believe gravel bikes are going to dominate the market is because not only do they open up so many roads, but they can also be a super effective training tool. A super effective training tool because if we put a power meter on this gravel bike, power is universal. Power is the same on every single bike. So for those of us who might be into both health and performance, and the number one performance metric is power, what this allows us to do is to train and do effective training while still having this versatility. So we can go out, we can ride on the road, we can do intervals, we can do 3x3 minutes at 300 watts, 400 watts, and then after that, we still have a bike that can take us wherever we want. If we are doing, for example, let's say low aerobic Ironman 70.3 or Ironman training, I did my long rides on the road. The long rides were 6 hours and a half. But to be honest, there was literally no reason why I had to do them on the road. There was no reason. I could have chosen some unpaved roads, really mellow ones, and I could have just done the rides there, or at least for a portion of them. I could have done like maybe 2 hours off-road, away from traffic, away from everyone, seeing like amazing places, and then do another 2 hours on the road, and so on. With a power meter, this becomes a possibility because power is universal. Power is the same. Unpaved, paved, road bike, tri-bike. There is no escaping power. Power is that thing that can tell us if we are having a productive training session or not. 200 watts is the same if we do it on the road or on unpaved terrain. And I believe this is a big reason for which a gravel bike can be an awesome addition to our cycling arsenal. One thing I would say is to look at really, really top, high-level elite triathletes like Heather Jackson. She does so much of her riding on a gravel bike around in Arizona with these super beautiful trails. So much of her training is done on a gravel bike. And I agree with her. I think it's a great idea because it gets you off the road, it gets you in nature, it gets you away from cars. I think it's a really, really great training tool. And here we get into something that is not really strictly neither related to health or to fitness, but it is related to what I would say like mental health, and that is the fun factor and the creativity aspect of gravel riding compared to road riding. So gravel riding can be so much fun because it is so diverse. We can literally head out of the house and not know where we're going to go. We might take a road, we might take a trail, who knows? We can just let the riding inspire us without having any boundaries, any limitations that a skinny 25C tire might give us. So that is something that, in my experience, opened up a whole lot of creativity, like more creative riding, and more, oh, let's see what's in this little road, let's see what happens if I go up this little hill that I've never been up. And sometimes I would end up in some really, really gnarly mountain bike trails, but other times I would reach some places which are absolutely beautiful and that I wouldn't not have reached if I had my road bike. Because with the road bike, I would be confined to the road. The road is something that has been built by someone else. Whereas with a gravel bike, I can venture off and just explore and be more creative with my riding, which is something that gave me back so much more, both in work life. Like I would figure out that I was more creative in work. I would like look for different types of way to approach problems and to find solutions to things. And this, I believe, was a direct consequence of being more creative with my riding, because Ironman training is very strict, as in you have to do long hours. But personally, what I did was I did all the training hours on the road, which with the gravel bike you can do off-road. And this opened up a lot of more fun and creativity. Another big reason is events, so gravel races. These come in all different shapes and sizes. There's like short ones, there's really, really long ultra endurance events. And this, I believe, is a really awesome thing. So I like the short events just the same as I like the ultra endurance events. Short events, I believe, it can be so much more fun than a road bike race. I really want to do one this year. Last year, I didn't manage to do any because first I had COVID, then I got injured. But this year, when I get back to Europe, for sure, I'm going to be taking part in some gravel races. Because to be honest, the thought of a road cycling race, it just really doesn't appeal to me. I find that triathlon and Ironman have a very, very different vibe from what is a road cycling race. So triathlon and Ironman especially are more into like the whole development of our strength, both swimming, cycling and running, combining things. It's like a bit of an art to combine all these different moving parts into one final race. Whereas a road cycling race, the vibe is so like spandex and people who are like, I don't know, it doesn't really vibe with me. Whereas a gravel race really, really does. It looks amazing. Or like events like Jan Frodeno's event last year's Grail. That stuff just looks awesome. First off, because you see amazing places. And second reason is because it's more like adventure racing, which is something that I really, really like. And now to end the video, I would like to give anybody who is vibing with these things that I just said, give some tips on what to look for. What I would look for in a gravel bike that can be a road bike on steroids. And the biggest tip that I would say is to look for the lightest bike you can find. That is the biggest problem with gravel bikes. You look on the websites, they're all like 10.5 kilos, 11 kilos, 12 kilos sometimes. My Giant Revolt right here is actually really, really heavy. It weighs in at 10 kilograms, and that is a huge amount for a bike that is carbon. I believe the most of the weight is in the wheels. The wheels are really, really bad on this bike. It's an awesome bike. I love it. But to be honest, it's really heavy. And you can feel that when you're riding, especially when you're climbing, not so much on the flats. But when you're climbing, you can feel that a lot. And the biggest tip I would give anyone who is looking into buying a gravel bike that can be used like a road bike but with more versatility is to get the lightest one you can get. The ones that I found that look really, really great are, well, the one that I bought is the Cervelo Aspero, which is a really, really racing oriented gravel bike. I have a couple of friends who already have this bike. It looks really awesome. It's light. It should be around 8.6 kilos or something like that. And considering that I have touched with my hand and weighed super, super high level road bikes with disc brakes, and they weigh in at 7.6 kilos, 7.7 kilos. That is how much a high end, I'm talking about more than 6,000 euro road bike with disc brakes, that's how much it weighed. And I saw that with my own eyes. So having a gravel bike, which is around 8.6, 8.7 kilos, considering that basically you already have half a kilo more just in the tires, because that's how much the tires weigh. That is actually pretty good, I believe. So if you're looking for a light gravel bike, I will look into the Cervelo Aspero. I will look into the new Specialized Crux, which can be a bit pricey, and as far as I know, you can't really find it right now. I will look into the Ibis makes one bike. I don't know what it's called, but that might be a good option. And we're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 euro mark. Cervelo Aspero is around 3.3 thousand euros, something like that. The kind of like entry-level version with the double chainring in the front. But we are talking about bikes that are around 8/9 kilos. That is, I believe, a good weight, because just by swapping out the big tires, you can get kind of like a road bike feel if you put on 32s. That's what I do. I have a set of 700 by 40C and a set of 700 by 32 slick panel racer, and I just swap between them when I want to ride really road focused. I put on 32C. When I'm doing like everyday riding, it's most of the time, 80% of the time, it's 40C. 40C seems like a really, really good spot to have your tire with, because it can really, really open up so many different trails and different terrains. And so far, I have almost never felt the need to size up, only when it's like really, really muddy. But in Italy, I have a set of 650B wheels, a bit smaller, and you can get thicker tires in. So I would put on those. But so far, 700 by 40C is very, very good sweet spot, but for weight, for width, and for unlocking so much more terrain than before. Another tip I would give is to make sure you have the correct gearing, because riding with a gravel bike is very different from riding with a road bike, as in you might have the same grade on a climb, but if it is off-road, it is completely different. It is way harder to go up oftentimes. So personally, I have a 3046 in the front, and I have an 1146 in the back. This is pushing it. This is I think the max gear expansion you can get on a bike, because otherwise the chain will become too slack. But so far, I absolutely love this gearing. To be honest, I had this gearing in Italy. I loved it, and I don't know why. Before coming to Thailand, I took out the 46 and I put in a 42. And that was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made in my life, because once I reached Thailand, the climbs are so steep, both on the road and off-road. So I really regretted not having those extra light gears. And as of yesterday, I've swapped in a 46 again, and I've already been on 2 rides, and it's just so much easier to go up unpaved climbs, 16, 17, 20%. So that's what I would go for. Really, really easy gears. And then if you feel like you don't need the easy gears, put in harder gears. But in my experience, I have never felt the need for a harder gear, and I've always felt the need for lower gears, lighter gears to climb up really steep stuff. Or after you've been riding 3, 4, 5 hours, getting past those last climbs in the 6th hour of a ride or in the 7th hour of a ride. Personally, I just want the lightest gears I can get. So 1146 in the back for me works great. And yeah, those are 2 tips: light bike and the correct gearing. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Gravel bikes, really, really hot topic in the world right now. So many people have talked about what I've talked about in this video many times, but I believe this video can be a great access point for triathletes and people who are into health and fitness, both of the things, adventure, and mixing up all these things into something that can really make our quality of life better. And I believe a gravel bike, as stupid as it sounds, can really make a difference in our quality of life. So that's all I've got for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think about gravel bikes. I think they're absolutely awesome. I think they are a very, very valuable addition to our bike quiver. But I'm glad to hear what you guys think. Maybe you don't really like gravel bikes. Maybe, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching as always, guys. And remember, if you want to chat with like-minded people, there is a Discord chat just for that, which has everything from endurance sports to gravel bikes and a whole lot of people from around the world who kind of do the same things. And it's a safe space to chat anonymously. And maybe if you have any questions, you can put them in the Discord group. There's so many people who have done so many things, so much more than me, and they can provide some valuable insight into maybe something that you are thinking about doing or some problem that you're having. So join the Discord chat. And if you want to chat directly with me, one-on-one, every day, every hour, unlimited questions, join the channel as a member. I'm always down to chat, whatever you want to talk about. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I don't really know what to say, but after this ride I'm seriously contemplating selling my road bike and only keeping this performance lightweight carbon gravel bike and my tri bike. This bike is so much fun, so much fun. Everything you can just pop out on roads, climb like a maniac, and then jump into the off-road. It's awesome.